in wrestling up until 8th grade, and I had hurt my knees. They're pretty bad, and doctor suggested, something better, and so he suggested like swimming. And my parents were like, yeah, you should take swimming. And I didn't really want to, but I did, and I went from not that.
Song's called Magic in July.
That's what a bitch is. And I've had a bitch that so don't get involved in these games.
You light my fire, yeah, you keep me warm. You were there, yeah, I could have sworn
This stuff here, it's like, it's regressing us. It's not progressing. Living like this, it makes you go on. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just want to feel yourself, but most of the time, it keeps you on your toes. You gotta think about what you're gonna do from day to day.
I usually don't concern myself with this, but it's late and so strange. I thought she's got what it takes to
If I
make
get
me
a
change
job,
my
I
ways.
just go home to an empty house.
It's all a shadow and light. Shadow and light.
Who are you?
I like the one that's right now.
Magic in July. Well, I woke up the next day. She left a note before she vanished with a wave. What she wrote, I won't say, but I obsess about it to this very day. Doctor, doctor, won't you medicate me? Too much lately, now I'm free, I'm free. Oh, doctor, doctor, won't you medicate me? Read me a
Attention, the following production is intended for educational and entertainment purposes. Anything discussed here is not advised. If you are in need of mental or medical health services, please contact a professional. Warning: the following production contains emotional, violent, mature situations themes and is intended only for mature audiences. This can be triggering or provoking. Viewer discretion is advised. The opinions and statements expressed here do not necessarily reflect ours. We do not recommend or encourage the situation's themes mentioned in here. Nothing in here should be taken as legal, medical, financial, nor lifestyle advice. If you are in need of medical/mental health services, please contact a professional. Suicide self-harm, hotline 1-800-273-8255. Mental health, hotline 1-800-662-4357. Substance abuse, hotline 8442-890-879. Medical hotline 911.
My life for freedom, and finally doing something that I hadn't done before. And I've been alone now for years, and moved out here 3 years ago from Minnesota.
Pensacola?
From Minnesota.
Minnesota?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
You seem like you hold your, at least what you told me, you seem like you hold it yourself for so long and now you're tasting liberty.
Yeah.
How is that like?
I feel more at peace
Okay.
now than I probably ever have. My son, he's 22. But I was in the Navy, and I got out of the Navy when I was 21. I'm 55 now,
You look 55.
Yeah.
You were so you're a veteran.
Yep. Yeah, I was in Desert Storm.
Desert Storm?
Yep.
How was it like?
I mean, I was on a combat supply ship, and we were number one in the 6th Fleet for both Mediterranean cruises I did. We supplied everybody that was in our fleet, and we had everything.
Did you get to see any combat?
Not like one-on-one combat. I was on a ship, and it was when it started all breaking up. I was on the ship. Yeah.
Did you like your time in the military?
I actually enjoyed my time. I did a few things wrong, but I got, punished for it like everybody else. But I don't regret my time being in. No.
Do you got any constant trauma because of the army?
No trauma.
Trauma?
I just think about the military every day. But I think they do that to everyone, kind of. I mean, I had good roles while I was in. I was, during boot camp, divisional master at arms. One person out of every company. I got chosen out of that. And out of the 6 companies in the 2 buildings connected, there was one from each company, and then we could put on a patch, and I could leave my company anytime and go to that area, and I could go around base anywhere. We were in charge of say they needed say toilet paper or towels, and we would have to check everything quality control and make sure everything was spoken for, and or everything was there. If they wanted 4 rolls, we'd have to mark down 4 rolls. Anywhere from toothpaste, toothbrushes, everything we had all in stock. But we in charge of those 6 companies, 1 person out of each, but yeah, that was pretty good.
You missed your time there.
Huh?
Did you miss it?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I had good times. I was an engineer. I was in the engineering department. I went to school for electrician, and then got on my ship. I was electrician, then went interior communications electrician.
Oh.
There was an opening the next few days I was on when I first got aboard, and they needed somebody in the interior communications shop, IC shop, and so that's when I met the friends that I knew. One guy when I was in electrician school, he got on the ship a week later, and he's the only other guy that I had known, but it was pretty cool seeing him, and we were on the ship. I was on the ship for 2.5 years.
What did your parents thought of you joining the military?
I think they thought it was good.
They thought it was good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you come from a military background?
My grandpa was in World War II. He was in Marines first, and then he got out, and then he went into the Navy and was some kind of he was a radio man, but he was also a teacher. He was. And then my dad, he was in Vietnam, and I was adopted by his sister, and then her husband, he was in Vietnam also. And yeah, so I look at my grandpa as one of my heroes.
What happened after you left the military? What happened after you left the military?
I was 21, and I went back home, and I stayed there for a couple years, and then I just worked different kind of jobs. Worked for Finger Hut, worked for Innovex. I made wires and stripped wires with big machines. Made hundreds of them at a time, with specific qualifications, and the laser would fry off the piece of the wire, and they would be twisted, for computer circuit boards and things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would send them we would do the parts and then we would send them overseas, and then they would then put the stuff together. Yeah, that was a good job. That was in my hometown. But my favorite one was market research company out of Fargo, North Dakota. I first started, we did surveys on the phone across America. Just anywhere, like smokers, we'd do smoking surveys, and we'd talk to only people that smoked or had quit smoking, and who had, like, say, taken some medicine to help them stop, and ask them certain questions about how it helped them, or what the medicine did to them. If they, like, some medicines would give you bad dreams, like Wellbutrin XL.
Wellbutrin, yeah, the most popular.
That's also I was on that medicine. It's antidepressant.
Oh.
Yep.
Did you smoke before?
Yep. I still smoke.
You smoke?
I still smoke. Yeah.
Tobacco?
Yep.
Do you smoke anything else?
I smoke weed.
Weed?
Yeah. Yep.
So you keep yourself into the soft stuff.
Yeah, I was on prescribed medicines since I was 25, and now I'm 55. It was like, I went into a place called Prairie Public. It was a place, mental health place, and they helped me get back on track of medicine that would help me at this stage of my life, right? So I got off and changed my depressant pills to, like, head medicines, and that worked. I was on for a while, but I haven't been now on prescribed medicine since 3 years.
When you left your prescriptions, do you think things went down?
I didn't know how it was gonna work, but I was at that point where I was never addicted to the pills. I took them for the pain that I had, and things just started happening the last few years, and I've been feeling better now than I did before I got hurt. So that's pretty good. I still have my aches and pains, but I have days where I don't feel anything sometimes now.
What do you contribute that to?
More like of my own self-freedom, of being not obligated to anything. I mean, when you're in a relationship, it's a lot different. And when I had my own apartment and everything, and right now I've been, homeless for about 4.5 years now.
Why? How did it happen?
I had left. I was down in Iowa, and it was time for me to move on. I'm 55 now. So when I moved out here 3 years ago, February. I moved. It was minus 22 degrees in Fargo that night, and I spent the night in the parking garage, and I about just froze. It was so cold. The next day, I bought a ticket 20 minutes before I left, and I didn't know where I was gonna go. I said, the lady goes, "Where would you like to go?" And I'm like, "I don't know, somewhere warm." And she said, "How about San Diego?" And I said, I bought the ticket, $224, and I was here. I left on the 5th. I got here on the 8th of February.
Do you like being homeless?
Somewhat, but I still would rather have my own place.
You
But
said you have children.
one son.
One son.
Yep.
Do you talk to him still?
We just haven't talked in a while. Yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking,
Yep.
what happened with your wife?
I was never married.
You were never married?
No. I've been engaged, but not
Okay.
married. Yeah.
What was the reason you never married?
Maybe things just didn't work out the way they were supposed to work out, maybe.
Did you wanted to marry?
I mean, I did. Yeah.
You did want to.
Yeah, we did. And then things just happened, and it didn't happen. Just, things just happened in life. We're still friends. She's still one of my closest friends, his mom.
It has to.
Yeah. And and I didn't like the arguing and fighting, and when it gets too much, it was too much, and I didn't want my son to experience that. I mean, he still experienced things, but we weren't together like it was, you know?
Did you experience those kind of things when you were a child?
No, not.
Your parents were
No.
good
Yeah,
with
they were
each
good.
other.
Yeah, they were good.
How was it like being adopted?
Confusing.
And what mattered?
Because I knew who my dad was, and he was still in that same township area, and it was always tough for me to talk to him and talk to my parents about everything. I was 7 when I was adopted, and I knew my grandpa and grandma. I had lived with them. I was born in Northern California, and then when my dad got out of Vietnam, he brought me back to Minnesota. My grandpa and grandma.
You take your ticket to San Diego and you come here.
Yep.
What happens then?
I got here and I ended up getting into Father Joe's like that first week, and I was in there for about 6 months, and then I missed 3 nights in a row. I came back on I thought I had missed 2 nights, but I had already missed 3 nights. I came back on the 4th day, and I had went to Imperial Beach, and when I came back, all of a sudden they were like, you're been gone too long, and so they said you're gonna have to sit out maybe a month.
Oh.
I'm like, so that's where I started. I didn't know. So that month turned into 3 months, and then I got back in there, and I was in there for like 6 weeks, and then I ended up leaving, and I've been out here ever since.
What have you learned from this experience?
I mean, I don't have no complaints right now about that. I've met some good people since I've been out here. Really good people. Strangers that are kind. When you're walking around town, if you talk to like say 10 people and ask them, directions or something, I would say maybe 2 out of 10 would be able to tell you, and probably 8 out of 10 would say they're not from here. That's what I've experienced here in San Diego. You know what I mean? And most people aren't from here, but the friends that I've made, like certain friends, they are from here, and that's just by chance, and like good guys that I know.
And your son know where you are right
Yeah.
now?
Yep. They know. My family knows where I'm at. They all know. We don't talk, and they all know I'm here. I don't want to be a part of, say, the future of arguments, or I don't want to be in the middle of arguments and fighting between family members. You know what I mean? I don't want to cause any conflict with any of them, because I don't want to end up fighting and hurting anybody, and I don't want nobody to be hurt. And it's almost better that I just stay away sometimes. That's how I kind of felt,
Does it hurt you that you cannot basically go without?
I don't like being talked at, or like, we weren't like a feeling kind of family, you know what I mean? It's like we were told to do something, but we didn't sit and talk about, we weren't like a feelings kind of family, I mean, I was busy when I was growing up. I was in sports, and we grew up on the farm. I helped my uncles on the farm, doing chores, I feel I'm very close to all of them, except they don't know who I really am. I have certain friends that know me very well, and I would say in the last 5 years, they've learned more about me than they probably ever knew.
How does it make you feel? Because I imagine it's not easy to date just now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I kind of fucked up, you know what I mean?
It's not a bad thing. I mean, I left on my own. I mean, the pain in my body, I'm getting older, and the weather out here is much better. I and I'm not stuck like in the wintertime. Out here it's sure you got a little bit of a rain, but it's still nicer than below zero, freezing cold.
Yeah, cause you can put a fan, but
Yeah.
how many clothes you can put?
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah, and if you don't know somebody, like homelessness in Minnesota isn't like it is out here because it's way too cold. And and sometimes you're stuck living somewhere where you don't want to be, but it's too cold, and if you don't know anybody, you're stuck.
Yeah.
And I like the freedom where I do as I please.
Can you make peace with them?
Oh, of course. I mean, I can make peace with all of them. I'm not fighting with them.
Can you make peace with the fact that they seem to get more information about you now than before?
I don't feel that it's a bad thing that they know more about me as a person, because that's what they should have done in the first place. And like, I didn't go see a doctor growing up because I say maybe had depression, and I dealt with it different ways. With sports, and I was a swimmer in high school. I started in 9th grade, 10th, 11th, 12th in swimming. And I started I was in wrestling up until 8th grade, and I had hurt my knees. They're pretty bad, and doctor suggested something better, and so he suggested like swimming. And my parents were like, yeah, you should take swimming, and I didn't really want to, but I did, and I went from not that good of a swimmer to being one of the best.
Okay.
And it took me it took me years though.
Of course, nothing that comes easy.
Ended up being a captain of the swim team.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, me and my buddy, and we were both captains of the swim team. We were seniors.
So you do know what hard work is, and like a strategy per
Yep.
se, because you gotta be smart to, jump from one to the other,
Yep.
as well as you're athletic.
Yeah. And I was a runner. I was a jumper, high jump. I did that all in track and field. And
A lot of people think that homelessness is a choice, or that disease is even a choice.
Yeah. I think in America, I think we need to focus more on, like with homeless, with people with mental illnesses.
Do you think people who go homeless because of the mental illness?
I
Or
think a
the
lot.
other way around?
There's a lot of PTSD with any kind of situation. People's, trauma, affects people dealing with others. And sometimes homelessness out here in California, you're more free because you don't always need a cover. You know what I mean? Or like an apartment. You don't need it.
Yeah.
I would rather have a place, but I make do, and I just collect cans and bottles and whatever's in my way, walking around, and like I'll find shirts or sweats or something, and when people come up to me and they say, hey, how much is this, how much is that, and I bring in cans and bottles to the recycling center, and that's what I do every day.
Yeah.
And I just visit with people like I'm visiting with you.
So you hustle.
That's my hustle.
Yeah.
I'm not a salesman. It's just I just got something what someone else may need. That's the way I look at it.
Man, that's fucking good.
I just acquired this here this last week, and otherwise I was pushing shopping carts, but then the cops were busting me for having shopping carts, and they were taking everything that I had, and so yeah. So right now I moved up.
Are you at peace right now?
Oh yeah, I'm alright. Yeah.
Like, holistically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I believe in God. I have I believe in I believe, spiritual, more than I ever have been. I don't know if that's just with age or wisdom, as some may say.
Or maybe experience.
Yeah, but I'm not afraid of death. Or maybe I'm afraid of God. You know
Are
what I
you
mean?
seeking it?
Huh?
Are you seeking it?
I would like to have answers that only, like, I always wonder who's God's mom. You know, I would love to. I would love to have a talk with her.
let's test who's bad now.
Yeah.
Besides your knees,
Yeah.
do you have any other diseases
No
or
diseases.
conditions?
Yeah, I had broke my back when I was 25, in my last 3 vertebrae, and I had surgery when I was 26. That's why I was on prescription medicines for a long, long time.
And you say you were taking them less and less right now.
Yeah, I don't take any prescriptions and no medicines. I've got like a bottle of ibuprofen somewhere in here, but I've only taken like 4 pills in the last 2 weeks.
Are you afraid of drug addiction?
Nope, because I was never on pills or drugs for an addiction. I mean, I did it for the pain, and like I like marijuana because it helps me emotionally relax my mind, but it also, though, it makes my body also feel like the pain even worse sometimes.
Yeah, because your body focuses on the pain.
Yep. And it might help my brain relax some, but my body, I still feel that pain. And I smoke a little bit of crystal now and then. And that helps. Like takes the little edges, it tweaks out the aches and pains. And it makes more tolerable, to tell you the truth.
Motor.
Yep. I've talked to the doctor about this stuff too.
What did he
I
say?
did. And that was before I moved out here, you know, and when I finally, I think I was 50 years old, and I just decided, you know, I'm not afraid of my parents or my family knowing who I am. And if I do drugs, if they have a problem with it, they can keep it. They can keep their problem. I don't need to be around it, you know? I'm going to be me.
Yeah, you cannot hold yourself because of their expectations.
Yep. And I always heard my whole life, I don't use my full potential. I say, thank God I got personality. You know?
You still want to reach your full potential?
I'm living. I'm fine.
You're
I'm
fine?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have regrets. I've pretty much made my decisions the way I've wanted to. I haven't been forced into anything, you know, in my life.
Does time makes easy?
Yep. I think time has made everything easier now. And I used to be a nervous wreck forever, always. And I was always afraid of being in trouble, and also or getting into trouble. I might have done things, you know, and when I got in trouble, of course I got in trouble, you know, but that's never fun for me.
Do you ever went to jail?
Huh?
Do you ever went to jail?
I've been to jail, yeah.
For?
Disorderly conduct. I got a bad mouth sometimes, and
and they
when the
cannot hold
cops
it.
but yeah, I don't have no past troubles still haunting me or anything
They
like
have
that.
left you.
Yeah, my troubles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Did they just come like that, or was it gradually?
I don't worry now like when I was on probation. Like, I still smoked weed, but I still had a piss test every month. And my son's mom was like, well, why do you do this every month? And I would take my own medicine, blah, blah, blah. And I would go and take my piss test, and I'd pass. And she's like, why do you put yourself through this every time? I'm like, well, am I supposed to not smoke pot and feel better? You know? And that's the way I looked at it.
Did that took a hit on your relationship?
No, because she
Didn't like it?
She just didn't understand how come I would put myself through that worry And, you know,
Does she knew about your pain?
oh yeah, yeah. We had met. We started dating in 2000, and my son is 22 now. So yeah. So then we split up in 2006.
How did that hit you?
Oh, it was tough for I think all of us. You know.
How was your perspective?
I just wanted to do the right thing for my son. That was my whole goal. Is I wanted my son to be happy, and I knew if we were going to be together the way that things were, we weren't all happy the way that we had used to be, you know, and arguing and that. It was better I just go and get my own place and be able to see my son, you know, and it worked out that way. And for the best I think it could have been, you know.
Where do you see your life going right now?
I don't know, and I'm just living every day.
Do you, and I don't mean this in a bad way, do you care where you're going?
Yeah, something. I'm not gonna go on. I'm okay right now.
You're okay right now?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
What is a good advice you can give to people?
Try to always find the good in everyone, no matter who they are, because everybody can be a good person.
What about a bad advice?
A bad advice? If you're in a situation and it's not your situation, like if I'm around some people that are fighting and arguing, and it's better to let them handle it than to get involved in. Yeah, you know, and I've been tested out here quite a few times, and I've been through a lot of trials, I think, a lot of different tests in my life. I've tried to make the better decision for all, you know, and not to, even when I've been in trouble, I don't want the others. I will stick up. I'll try to help them get out of trouble, you know.
What was your best choice?
Hmm?
What was your best choice?
For helping others?
No, in everything in your life.
I think finding myself. I'm finally being alone, like in no relationship. Instead of being in a relationship from a different one to a different relationship, I learned I don't need somebody else. I can do it by myself. You know?
Do you consider yourself an addict right now?
No.
To any drug?
No, not at all.
I don't know. Do you drink alcohol by any chance?
Once in a while.
So what?
Not much. I used to drink a lot.
What was your guilty pleasure?
Smoking cigarettes. I believe, you know, you have everybody has a simple pleasure, or like a simple, you know, like you were saying, like a guilty pleasure. Yeah. And I would call that I went to a treatment center for mental health, and it was also for addiction for drugs and alcohol. But I was there for my mental ability, or you know, and they helped me get back on track. And talking with the doctors about different medicines I was on and what I should maybe be on. I always took the doctor's advice, but I also gave him my opinion when they asked me. And if I had tried something that I hadn't been prescribed before, I would talk to my doctor about it, and we would maybe try it, you know. And I've had very good doctors that listen to me, nurse practitioners, chronic pain clinics. I've been to very, very, very good doctors, and doctors that have listened to me and understood me, as far as not just them telling me that to take these pills because of this and that. You know, I would tell them how the pills made me feel. When I was on methadone since 2001 till a few years ago, and the first week I went back to the doctor and I was like, I can't. Told me to. We did it, and the different medicines were conflicting. So what I had to do is I had to break them down, and we started over, and the different milligram strengths went from little bit, like every week, and then we increased the doses to where the concoction of my medicines, I was on 8 different kinds of medicines every day, 3 times a day, you know. I'm talking 3 times a day, each pill,
Oh,
for the whole entire of my son's life.
how the fuck did that affect you?
Oh,
What did that do to you?
You know, it was with depression, it was with pain, my happiness. We tried finding that. You know, the pain affected me so much that it affected my moods a lot, and it it was tough. You know, and when I was in those pain, it would take me like an hour every single day after the medicines. I'd take the medicines, and it would take an hour for everything start taking place, where I start feeling better to be able to go somewhere. You know, but I've handled it pretty well.
How many surgeries have you had in your life?
I had my back surgery. That was when I was 26. I had clavicle on my right collarbone. I broke in half. I got a plate in it. I had that surgery. I broke this one twice. I broke my right arm and my wrist. Hurt my wrist. I dislocated this thumb. In this hand, I hurt. Yeah. I've dealt with those pains the last few years without medicines. Like with my hand, and I healed my hand up myself, and I couldn't even. Now I can. It's strong again.
You put it back into place?
Yep. I every day I took it and I just. And I spent the night in the parking garage, and I about just froze. It was so cold. The next day I bought a ticket 20 minutes before I left, and I didn't know where I was gonna go. I said, the lady goes, "Where would you like to go?" And I'm like, "I don't know, somewhere warm." And she said, "How about San Diego?" And I said, I bought the ticket, $224, and
Attention! The previous production was intended for educational and entertainment purposes. Anything discussed here is not advised if you are in need of mental or medical health services. Please contact a professional. Warning: the previous production contained emotional, violent, mature situations themes and was intended only for mature audience. This can be triggering or provoking. Viewer discretion is advised. The opinions and statements expressed here do not necessarily reflect ours. We do not recommend or encourage the situations, themes mentioned in here. Nothing in here should be taken as legal, medical, financial, nor lifestyle advice. If you are in need of medical/mental health services, please contact a professional. Suicide self-harm, hotline 1-800-273-8255. Mental health, hotline 1-800-662-4357. Substance abuse, hotline 8442-890-879. Medical hotline 911. Attention! The previous